like you're, but have for sure for this class one thing that could be a blanket or a block or a pillow that you might want to put your head on for one shape at some point later on. And that's it. And we're going to start with some pranayama tonight. And so you could sit in a way that feels kind of clear and feeling into the structure. We're in metal season, and yin yoga, we work with the Chinese element seasons, and autumn is the metal season. And one thing about metal season is it's a lot about like clarity and structure, and creating those things, creating sort of like routine and scaffolding that allows us to actually feel more free in our bodies and our lives. And so finding first the scaffolding of your body, you could imagine climbing up your spine like it's scaffolding you would put on a building, and build it up really high. See if your crown can reach way up. And then feeling the sense of that structure, that beautiful scaffolding of your skeleton. And then as you exhale, imagine just kind of water washing over you, but you maintain that same beauty of the structure, right? And so the height, the elegance, the grace, the structure doesn't change. You maintain all of that. But with every exhale, there's this watery softness that just kind of touches the tissues. And so you have all at once the clarity, sort of brilliance of the structure, but then this beautiful ease of the way your tissues drape on that structure. And then we'll breathe and inhale for 4 counts and an exhale for 4 counts. And with the breathing, just a sort of disclaimer on the breathing, just don't let it get you crazy is all. So if you're counting and it's like not matching the way you want it to, or if the count feels too slow or too fast, drop it or change it. You can change the pace of your counting to make this work a little easier for you, right? Just don't get too caught up in having it to be perfect. But what we're going for is an inhale and an exhale that match. And then little by little, we're going to extend the exhale. And so you've been doing this for a bit. Now try breathing in for 4 and out for a count of 5. Pay attention to the sensation of the breath as it touches your nostrils on the inhale, and ride the out breath out. Ride it all the way out to the very end. And then you can add on another count to your out breath. So in for 4 and out for 6. And just try it on. Try it on, see how it feels. If it fits, keep going. If it doesn't, you can always let it go. On the out breath, can you soften the muscles of your face and allow for a little more space at the back of the teeth? You can add on one more count to the exhale, so in for 4 and out for 7. And if it helps, with every breath in, you could be attentive to the clarity of your structure. And with every breath out, maintaining the height, the elegance of that structure, but allowing for that water to wash over you and soften all of your soft tissue. So we'll move to an inhale for 4 and exhale for 8. And just curious. not demanding it, just suggesting. See how it feels in your body. Notice the touch of the air at your nostrils. Does it feel cool? For many of us, we're on the East Coast here and the air is getting crisp and cool. So noticing the crispness of the air as you breathe it in, imagining how it saturates, how it permeates every single cell in your entire body, this breath. Soft tissue, smoothing out, emptying tension, draping on your bones as you breathe out. Take one more round. And in no hurry at all, as you complete your out breath for 8 counts, you can let the breathing go and come into a child's pose, actually a tadpole. So child's pose with really wide knees and arms extended. You can walk your arms way out in front of you, and any props you want to have at any point during this practice, please help yourself. So toes are together, knees are wide. Maybe your elbows are on the ground and your head is draped. Maybe your seat comes back to your heels. It certainly doesn't have to. You can always tuck pillows underneath your chest, bolster. You could tuck things behind you. If it's a lot on your knees to fold them so much like this, you could tuck a pillow underneath you. So finding your way, your very personal and unique way. And then feeling into your structure again. Notice your skeleton. And then allow things to drape from that skeleton. So metal season right there. The direction of metal. There's all these different qualities associated with the elements and the seasons. And metal, the direction is downward, out of sort of the upwardness of fire and summer. And now we start to go in and down. So allowing for all things, all bits, all particles, all fluid, all cells to move downward, inward and down. So we'll stay here in tadpole, but add a lateral stretch to it. We're going to work a lot with the shoulders and arms this evening. And so take a walk with your arms and upper body over on the diagonal to any side. Doesn't matter, you pick which side you want to move towards. So just taking a little walk. Upper body goes out to one side, and then gently resettle yourself in the shape. Notice small changes or big changes that you feel when you shift position. Where is the epicenter? Has it changed? Are you in a position that's sustainable? Or do you need to back off a little bit so that you can really live here with some ease? Oh, there you are. Hi, hi. And if you like that breathing that we did, it's called parasympathetic flow because it activates, obviously, probably your parasympathetic nervous system. So you can use that. That's a great tool that at any point in this practice you can use if you feel like you drift away or get distracted. Take it over to the other side with your upper body. So we'll walk over in the other direction. As little fuss as possible, as least dramatic as possible. And then let your whole outline just relax a little bit more. Your skin softens, face nice and easy, mouth, jaw, tongue. Take another breath in and let your exhale trail away until it's all the way gone. Just wait for every drop to empty, and then you can walk your way back through center. And think about coming out. And as you think about coming out of this shape, what would feel good to your body? Do you want to come up to all fours and move your spine around? Do you want to spread out on the ground, on any surface of your body? You could lay front, side, back. You want a downward dog, maybe even. So we work in the fall, we work the lung and the large intestine meridians, which run through the chest and the arms. And so we'll take a Anahatasana next, the puppy or the melting heart. So you could do it with no props. We're still on all fours, walking arms out further. This time, instead of seat to heels, your seat is over your knees, your spine hangs, gathering just like with a child. You could gather any amount of props underneath you, a block for the head, a bolster for your whole front torso, or nothing at all. It's all welcomed. So you're draping your spinal column from pelvis to crown, just letting it gracefully hang. And just working in this pose, it's a lot about just again and again looking around for what's clinging, what's gripping, what's squeezing, what's defending. And little by little, layer by layer, dropping those defenses. Not an easy thing to do. So one of the things I read this today and loved it about autumn and metal season was that one thing it's sort of healthy to think about, or that metal asks us to do, is to integrate disappointment. After the sort of exciting, bombastic almost nature of summer, there's a lot of feelings we get right at the end of summer as we move into fall. And disappointment could be one of them. It might not be, but it could be. But just sort of reflecting on that for a moment, that if there has been any disappointment, How do we integrate? How do we take in and also let go of that? How do we honor? Perhaps use it in some way as fertilizer or fuel. In Hindu mythology, there's even a goddess of disappointment. I love that. Her name is Dhumavati. Dhumavati is the goddess of smoke. And it's so great because, like, shit's going to happen, right? We're not always going to get our way. Can we be really gracious when we don't get what we want? Can you be gracious in this shape? And your bones have the quality of grace and receptivity. All right, so coming out carefully, gentle, slow. You can come to all fours. You can move your spine into a cat shape if that feels nice as a counter pose, to press your rib cage up towards the ceiling and rock it a little bit inside your torso. One option, right? There's a million ways you could come out of this. So take good care, do what feels intuitive, what feels like it helps you smooth out after that one. And then I'll talk about where we're going. You don't have to get there yet. You can continue just to kind of hang out in this after pose moment, but we're going to head into a broken wing next. So if I have enough room here. And so for broken wing, lots of ways you can do it, but maybe a pillow or a block for your head would be nice here. And so we're coming onto front side. And if you're using a pillow, I guess we'll all go on the same side just to make it simple. So turning head so that right ear is on the ground or right ear is on the pillow or blanket. And then right arm is going to stretch out to the side. Okay, and that's one option. So a couple of ways you can do this with your legs. So one way is that you roll, actually you don't even have to use your legs. You could roll onto your right side and that could be plenty. And my legs are stacked here, and this other arm that's not the one out to the side can just kind of hang out wherever it wants. I could bring my left knee forward and do it this way, and that's going to be a little bit less sensation. So if you're feeling it a lot, it's not sustainable when you're stacked on your side. Bring your top leg in front of you and do it that way. And then again, this arm can be anywhere. And you can play with moving this other arm. I'll show you this way just so you can see what I'm doing here. So this other arm can scooch out a little further. It could go up north a little further. You can play like that. Okay, and then if you want more sensation, right, so the knee in front of you is less sensation, top foot, left foot behind you is going to be more sensation. So up to you, right? All kinds of ways to work this. From your front, stick your right arm out, put your right ear to the ground, the block, blanket, or pillow, and then push over onto your right side body and decide from there. Do I need a little less? Do I want some support with the left knee bent in front of me? Or do I want some more sensation with the left knee behind, foot on the floor? Are you there yet? I talked a lot, so I'm going to count that as our first minute, I think. So you're all there. As you breathe, you can imagine lungs expanding, contracting, and the oxygen permeating every single cell, millions of them, magic. It permeates right into your cells every time you breathe. Like the melting heart, this tends to be one where if you don't keep taking little check ins, walks around your internal landscape, you might start to get some tension creeping in. And so just do a little walk around your body with your attention. Look for that defensiveness again. Feel the structure of your skeleton, the blueprint of your bones on the ground. And let the rest be like water. But that's good for that side. And so slowly undoing. It took a lot to get there. Undo your shape. Resting if you want to rest. Sometimes after that one, I like to slide my arms underneath me. So coming out of that one, sometimes I'll crisscross my arms, put the head down, take a little counter stretch, a little arm compression, or you can do nothing at all. You can put your head down, rest on your front, rest on your back, any which way at all. And then we're going right to the other side. Nothing fancy here tonight. So when you do feel ready, you can stick your left arm out and put your left ear down. And see how it feels on the other side. Might be very different. Who knows? Metal, we have all these five elements, and I feel like metal is sort of a harder one to grasp, right? We're all pretty clear about like the qualities of water, the qualities of fire. Metal's a little more interesting. One great way to think about it is that like metal conducts electricity, right? And these meridians, these energetic pathways that we're compressing and pulling on and giving love to in this practice. This internal chi system is a network that conducts the chi, just like metal conducts electricity. Let's take a last look around. Look for what is resisting gravity. Is there anything in your body? Any swath of tissue, any bones, any joints, any muscles that are resisting gravity, and how can you yield more completely here? How can you become more receptive? Come on out. As you come on out, same as before, you can move or you can rest. Roll to the front and do an opposite arm on top arm squish. If you did that, you can roll onto your back or any which way. The Sphinx is our next one. No rush. Again, take your time. You really want to tune in and like feel into your tissues. Has that last pose sufficiently sort of dissipated? Is it quiet in my body again? And when it feels quiet again, then you can take your Sphinx. All pretty familiar with this one, yeah. Elbows on the ground, legs streaming back, any which way you want to do it is great. You can have, we often do it in this class with a bolster or pillow on top of the forearms that you could drop your head onto if you like. Or for more sensation, you can put your bolster or pillow underneath your forearms. Add a little more compression to the lumbar spine. If you want to support your head, you could put a block on its tall setting in front of you to put your forehead on. That's another option too. Belly soft. Let it drape. Feeling that lovely warmth perhaps, but definitely some sensation happening in the low back. And if you feel that compression in your low back, and you imagine it spreading out so it's not stuck in one place, it's not static and rigid, it's got life, it's vibrating. The metal conducting electricity, the meridian pathways of your body are taking that compression and radiating the benefit of it out through the whole body. Imagine chi, prana, life force, vital energy radiating from your low back out through every energetic pathway of your body. Dealing with the lungs and the large intestine, right, as I mentioned in this season. So as you breathe in, you can feel the breath live in your chest. And can you feel the exhale in your pelvis? Breathing in, feel energy fluttering in the heart. And breathing out, letting it descend into the bowl of the pelvis, down through the legs, out through the feet. Receiving with the lungs how we take in the world, and emptying the large intestine. We let go what's no longer needed. Notice where your mind might go, and if it wanders off, come back to the feeling of the crisp air touching your nostrils, knowing that that oxygen is permeating every cell, and then riding that out breath, ride it all the way out into spaciousness. Go ahead and let it go now. And you've got some time here. And I think Sphinx is a pretty intense shape. It's simple, but strong. And so give yourself a full minute at least here. I'll let you know when that is. And it might be nice to drape over the bolster or the pillow if you were using one, or anything that helps neutralize what you just did. Anything that helps the energy now be free flowing through every joint. So that's been about a minute. If you need more time, please do take more time. And I hope you all know you can always take all the time that you need to rest. But if you do feel ready, we'll come on up to all fours to take a couple of dragons. We're going to do a short dragon series on each side. And so for the dragons, you might want to have pillow or block or something that you could rest your paws on when we come into it. And so either way, it doesn't matter which leg you step forward. You're going to bring one foot outside of your hands. And so it's kind of like a lizard that we would do in a vinyasa class. And so here's where you might want to bring the floor a little higher by using blocks or bolster or pillow. And then what you want to do is once you find the shape, once you've got the appropriate props, once you're ready and you feel like, okay, this is where I live. Hang on, big truck on my street. Then you just want to let your pelvis get so heavy, and you let your pelvis just be like a big heavy bowl of water that's spilling forward. And we're gonna do probably almost ready to switch. We're gonna do just under a minute in each variation. So the next variation, if you choose to take it, it's called Wandering Dragon, where you can walk your hands a little bit over away from your front foot. And so that might turn out to be more than you need sensation wise. And so you can always come back to where you were. And if you need relief, you're always welcome to shift backwards, take a breather for a moment, and then you might return to the dragon. And so Wandering Dragon, really you can wander anywhere you like with your arms. You can wander all around your space with your upper body and see where it might take you, where it feels good and helpful. Where are we resisting? I'm always looking around for that defensiveness. Shows up in all kinds of funny places, in my toes, in my eyebrows, in my elbows, right? Where can I soften a bit? So this shape, not as much a fall shape, but a little more for like end of summer, stomach and spleen, for how well we digest things. We can really absorb and integrate our summer. And you can go ahead and start to walk it back if you took that Wandering Dragon, and then we'll take a Twisted Dragon here. And so you can keep the hand that's opposite your foot, like my right foot is forward, so I'm going to leave my left hand down. And then your other hand can go onto your opposite thigh. You can twist. You can really put it anywhere you like. You might wrap it behind you. If you're feeling like you want to reach it up in the air for a couple of breaths, you can. You can drape your elbow on your knee and make it yours. So Twisting Dragon. We've still got a really heavy pelvis. I'm letting my pelvis just continually fall, breathing in, feel the breath in the heart. Breathing out, letting it move down through the lower body, all the way down and out. That's it. That's enough of that. You can come back. Short and sweet, those dragons. Well, maybe not short and sweet, but short. So coming back, you might come back to all fours and move around a little bit. You might come back and maybe it feels good to be tucked in to a really snuggled up, knees together, child's pose for a bit after having everything be so sort of wide open in the hips. Compression could feel good, or maybe just stillness. You got as long as you need. And then we will head to the other side next. Oh, she's so cute. I don't know if you all can see her little face in the stairs there. Oh, it's so cute. Anyway, so other foot forward, starting simple, gather your props, blocks. You could pile a million things up if you need to. And then just inviting things to move downward, right? The direction of fall, leaves falling, everything moving in and down. You know, the structure, you notice your skeleton, and then see if you could let your tissues hang like cashmere off the bones. Everything just draping. Mouth relaxed, forehead relaxed. And then we'll wander. So if you want to wander off, out away from that front foot, you could take a little walk as far or not far as you like. One thing too about fall, it's like thinking about metal, right? Like gold. It's a lot about finding that luminosity inside yourself, self worth. And it's not about producing or proving anything, it's actually about doing less, coming back home to yourself. Go ahead and take it into the twist now. Do one more variation. You can walk back and find any version of a twist here. We're still in a dragon just for a little bit longer. Breath in, long inhale, slow exhale, all the way out. And when you're done, bringing it back, little by little, call yourself back in, gathering the threads, and moving or resting as you see fit. And taking it onto the back now. I'm going to come to my back here and to just a little knees, hugging in, one hand on each knee or wherever they fit, and just kind of wobbling a little bit, rocking. You're going to take a twist, twisted roots. So always a million options with this one. So when you're ready, you'll drop your knees over to one side, and that could be where you stay. Arms might open to a T, or if you want to access, so we're working a lot, right? I mentioned the long and large intestine, which are in the arms and the chest. And so to add on to make it a little more intense, you could bring your arms up over the head, kind of, arms up by your ears, even for a few breaths. And then you might decide, no, I don't want to do that. You could gather props to stick between your legs, underneath your legs, all kinds of ways you want. You could wrap your top leg over your bottom leg, and that's going to add sensation. It's going to give a little more weight to that twist, a little more downward pull. And so feel into where you want to be. Once you find your place, gently resettling, feeling the structure, feeling the outline of your body, feeling the blueprint of your skeleton. Picture it. And let everything move away from it. Let all of your tissues, all of your muscles, fascia, let it all move away from your skeleton. Let it soften off the bone. really quite elegant and beautiful, this five element system. So in the fall, we start to cut away what's unnecessary. We start to become more discerning about ourselves and our lives and what's good for us and what's not. We might start to remember rituals that help us stay with ourselves, routines that give rhythm to our days, that give structure to our days. We clear things away so that our luminosity can come through. And we clear things away so that when we go into deep winter, water season, we can really kind of be with ourselves. Winter, water season is about nourishment and replenishing. But you can't do that if you're still trying to do a million things at once, yeah? So doing less, cutting away. And if we do that, right, if we get that clarity in the fall, structure, the routine that supports our well-being, and we really drop into ourselves, we really come home to ourselves in the winter and we nourish, we feed ourselves well, we move our bodies in beautiful, gentle ways, we take good care. Then in the spring, when all that energy starts to kind of pour out of the universe, then we're ready and we're nourished. Right? The water of winter feeds the wood of spring, and we can spring forward with energy. Go ahead and come on back. Just center, undo your twist. Take as long as you need in the middle. You could hug your knees in. You could just fall apart on the ground. Anything at all. And we'll head to the other side of twisted roots as our last shape of the evening. So you can recreate that twist when you feel ready, when you feel like the body is quiet again. First side, it's like just a memory. Go ahead to the second side. I have a poem for you. Favorite poet, Naomi Shihab Nye, and it's called Fresh. To move cleanly, needing to be nowhere else, to move cleanly, needing to be nowhere else, wanting nothing from any store, to lift something you already had and set it down in a new place, wanting nothing from any store, to lift something you already had and set it down in a new place. Awakened eye, seeing freshly. What does that do to the old blood moving through the channels? So just a couple of things that you might do in the fall that could be helpful is to go outside, especially in the morning, go outside and breathe the crisp air every day, like really consciously feel the touch of the crisp, cool air at your nose as you breathe in and out. That's one thing. Another thing is to create some kind of lovely ritual or structure for yourself that helps you remember what's important, what you care about. And to drink a lot of water because this is when we start to dry out. So nourish, prepare for the winter so you don't go into it all dry and brittle. Prepare by drinking lots of water, lots of tea, and really nourishing your body. So you can come on out now. Be done here. You can undo your twist and take a final resting shape here. So it might be on your back, it might be seated, it could be on any surface of your body. Let the lovely structure of your bones now really just give in to gravity. Feel the spaces between your bones where the breath moves. Let your breath, that crisp, cool breath, wash through all your joints. And invite every drop of you, every cell, every drop of fluid, every muscle, bone, and fiber to move downward, in and down the direction of fall. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Mritorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Mritorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya Mritorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Coming back. If you want to come back, you can always stay. You might begin to flutter your fingers and blink your eyes. Calling in that crisp breath. It brings movement to the small joints and then the bigger ones. Om Asatoma Satgamaya. Asatoma Satgamaya. Lead me from the unreal, what's not true, Asat, to what's real. Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya. From the darkness to the light. Mritorma Amritam Gamaya. From death to immortality. Om Shanti Shanti. Om Peace Peace Peace. So when you come up, you can bring your hands anywhere you like together on your body, and you finish with one Om. Taking a big round breath in. Om. Everybody. Beautiful. Thank you.